Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I'm going to talk today about, there's a lot of stuff happening. I'm going to talk today about the energy crisis and how you're witnessing it in China, because China's over there. Actually, it really is. You're witnessing it in the UK. Let's go that way over there. And I don't think a lot of Americans are preparing for this. And the warning signs are everywhere. And we just came out, a new warning has just come out. And we're seeing not only inflation rearing its ugly head all over the world in all kinds of different sectors, but we're being warned about the future. All right. You remember as I went back, beginning of August, I put out a video that if you want to have a Christmas or try and have the best Christmas possible, let's say, season, you may want to start buying your gifts now and preparing your food and all that kind of stuff now, because there's going to be some crazy shortages coming. And it was a couple of weeks later that you heard the vice president come out and say the exact same thing. Well, the facts are most people can hear warnings, only few people will heed the warnings, okay? And any time that you're prepared, like you do your Christmas shopping ahead of time, even if nothing happens, hey, guess what? You're done. You're good. So it's a good thing, right? Well, now we have a pretty serious warning, and that is that we are right now, heating oil supplies are the lowest in decades. So reserves, heating oil reserves. And it's wild. It's one thing to blame what's going on in the economy, like, the shutdown and then things opening back up, but then also realizing that supply demand dynamic that was just amazing that happened when all the businesses had to close. Then when they all opened up and they had to ramp up production, that dynamic that's just unbelievable. Like if you look back in economic history, there really hasn't been anything that we could judge us by in the recent past, or maybe ever. Well, right now we have never seen this low of supply in the last couple decades, and it is going to cause a massive spike in the price of oil, heating oil, to heat people's homes during the winter. Now, there's a couple of sides of this story. It's very depressing. It's not during the summer, in spring, people are excited, they're happy, they're getting sun. And I love those times of years. I also do love the winter and the fall, right? Because they bring their own challenges, their own excitement, their own, there's excitement in the air, right? But it's different. And during the wintertime is when people are inside, they're colder, they're not as positive, at least in my experience, right? And to be able to tell people, hey, there's not only going to be huge price increases to heat your home, right? But there's also going to be shortages. We're going to have some rolling blackouts or some rolling outages when it comes to certain things. I believe we're going to see that in this country in the wintertime for electricity. I believe we're going to see it for heating oil. So I'm going to go over a couple of, I'm sorry, I don't want to be so serious, but it's like, how do you present real information to people? And, sometimes you just can't put a rosy outlook on it. But if you know that it's coming ahead of time, you can prepare for it, right? So right now, to give you an idea, in 2019 and 2020, 5.5 million households used heating oil as a primary means of heating their homes. 81% of that number were located in the Northeast of America, where it's super cold in the Northeast. And so there's right now ultra low stockpiles of this heating oil, and there's a couple different reasons they're citing. One reason is the deep freeze that happened in Texas. It completely knocked refiners offline. But you couple that with a huge demand for jet fuel, because as the economy opened up this end of spring into summer of this year, we started seeing a massive amount of jet fuel being used because people started traveling, they went on vacations, businesses were opening back up. So we're seeing these ultra low stockpiles. Now, I want people to realize, and if you're from another country, especially the UK right now, or if you're in parts of Asia right now, or even Lebanon that are experiencing massive power outages, please throw in your comments below right now And because people need to realize what's coming. The facts are that when these price spikes happen, that means many people will have less extra money to spend into the economy, going out to eat, buying, perishables or things that you don't need, which means those businesses are going to be impacted huge. Let's think about this. Think about restaurants right now that during this this upcoming heavy inflation, sometimes hyperinflation, they're going to have less people coming in because they have less money, coupled with the high energy costs that they're going to be having to pay just to keep the lights on. It's going to be crippling. And I can't say this any more sincerely and clearly. We need to realize what's really important right now and get into basics. Prepare for these things. Now, some people go, well, Ninja, how do you prepare for heating oil going out? It sounds, I'm not joking. It sounds funny, but you buy a coat, you buy extra socks, you buy things that you've grown out of that you're gonna need for the winter now, before everyone races down to the store to go buy an electric blanket. Let's say, I don't use them, but let's say that's something people use, or extra warm winter clothes, and realize not only is there very little available right now because what's going on with China getting goods to us, we're having a hard time getting those goods, so there's less clothing or less blankets on the shelves, coupled with the fact that if you're too late, everybody else has ran down and got it too. So that might be something to think about. Another thing is to, if you're remodeling your home right now, and there's things you're doing, you go, what, maybe I should focus on the insulation portion. It sounds funny. I'm just trying to figure out. There's common sense things that we could do to prepare for these things. Another thing is really looking at the large picture, and I'm gonna close on this. Looking at the large picture and understanding, yeah, you're right. Restaurants are not gonna be able to make it through this. A lot of restaurants are gonna close. A lot of stores that are like, let's say, boutique stores that are already having a hard time keeping up with their prices when they're having to go against big conglomerates like Amazon and stuff, they're gonna close their doors, which means there's gonna be a lot less jobs, and there's gonna be a lot more need for owning things that are of substance. Man, it sounds funny, I'm totally out of words, because it's one thing to tell you guys about facts, like, hey, this is happening right now. There's a lot of people on YouTube that do that. I'm showing you what's coming into the future because of what's happening right now. And that's the other thing that's really hard to tell, is if you're an American citizen or you're in any country right now that's not currently affected as much as, let's say, the UK, China, Lebanon, Venezuela, those countries right now that are being ravished by hyperinflation, shortages, all kinds of things that are really bad. It's hard for you to put yourself in their shoes, but you really desperately need to right now, because if you do not put yourself in their shoes, then you will be doomed to repeat what they're going through right now. All right, guys, I hope you got something out of this. Sorry for the somber mood, but I mean, this is real life. This is coming, and I want people to be ready for it. That being said, I thank you so much for your time. The Economic Ninja is out.